Magandang tanghali po.
Oras na para sa may init na balita.
Kasalukuyan po nagsasagawa ng hearing ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee kaugnay sa pork barrel scam at isa sa tinatalakay sa pagdinig ang mga regulasyon pagdating sa mga non-government organization.
Ilan lang sa naimbitahang dumalo sina Securities and Exchange Commission Chairperson Teresita Herbosa, COA Chairperson Maria Grace Pulido Tan at ang Chairman ng Governance Commission for GOCCs na si Attorney Cesar Villanueva. Panoorin po natin ang bahagi ng pagdinig.
Case maybe. And the good thing about our charter is that there was a tendency in the past for the GOCC sector to go to bloat. And today, there is not a single GOCC, non-chartered GOCC that can be created unless the law says there is a recommendation coming from the GCG to the SEC in order for it to be approved. So we have worked very closely with SEC on this, and there are GOCCs where the terms were about to expire. They were requesting that they be extended, and we wrote to SEC saying it does not make sense to extend the term. It has not been a very profitable or a good GOCC, so let its term end. There are GOCCs that, because they're governed by their own board, who want to expand to increase their mandate or to source more capital, and they would do that through SEC in the past. They cannot do that now without going through us. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that there's no GOCC that is operating out there that is not fulfilling the national development mandate. When it came to ZREC and NABCOR, even before the PDAP controversy were out, we already looked at all of this together with other GOCCs like technology transfer, TRC, NLDC, HSDC, and even before the controversy broke out, we already submitted recommendations to our principals that they should be abolished. For example, in the case of ZREC, ZREC is one of the highlights that ZREC sought to prove to us, to show that it should continue to exist, was the fact that it was profitable. And yet we saw there that a great part of the income that it was receiving was a 3% commission from PDAP. And we didn't know that there was anything going wrong there. But if the only reason why a DA charter, corporate arm of the Department of Agriculture is able to survive because of something that it does, by sourcing it out to NGOs, we felt that it shouldn't exist. In other words, the government goes out of its way to register a GOCC, and instead of being the one to undertake it, being properly manned to undertake it, it goes out and sources it out to NGOs. Then that GOCC does not have any reason for being. So we recommend that it be abolished. NABCOR. NABCOR is consistently a losing proposition. It has 41 regular employees, and it has been losing. So from that alone, we said it should be abolished. We have the luxury, and compared to SEC, we have the luxury of going through them. We go to each of their offices. We look at what people they have. We look at the assets they hold, because this is government asset, and we do evaluate on how to do it. That's one way in which to ensure that this doesn't happen. When you have a lot of GOCCs, non-chartered GOCCs that are out there, having been organized by different departments, they tend to be vehicles because they tend to be outliers. No government agency actually monitors them. So we will close this down so that only the big GOCCs, the ones that are doing important work, remain to be monitored. The other one is we follow the carrot and stick procedure. For example, when it comes to advances, one of the things that we determined when we were constituted and we sat down with the chair and her commissioners early on is that we promised that any audit observation memo, notice of disallowance, even if it's not final, we will take seriously, and we will put the government, our boards and management to task. In other words, we take them seriously. Because it made no sense for us, for COA to be doing a fine work over the years, and none of these observation notices ever see the light of day. So one of the things that we did was in each of our GOCCs, when we do performance agreement, by the way, that's what we do. Our other mandate is to make sure that the boards of directors do a corporate visioning. They do targets that are measurable, and at the end of that year, we will determine whether they have met those targets, and if they have not met those targets, they will not qualify their people to the performance-based bonuses. So, in other words, motherhood statements with us, wonderful corporate visions and missions do not mean anything to us. We sit down, parang nagre-revalida sila, the whole board, and then we set targets that are measurable. And when we can measure them, we work with them and be able to measure them. And therefore, what we do is at the end of the year, for example, the 2013 were negotiated. At the end of this year, we're now going to be measuring whether they have performed them. One of the items that we did was advances. When it comes to performance-based bonuses, in order for the problem not to grow,
Yan po ang bahagi ng pagdinig ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee patungkol pa rin sa issue ng pork barrel o PDAF. At sa ngayon, ang kanilang focus ng kanilang pagdinig ay sa mga policy issues. At ayon sa mga resource person ng Blue Ribbon Committee, ang ilan sa mga organisasyon ay pinag-aaralan na nilang i-abolish bago pa man pumutok ang naturang issue.